Cheese.
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 What's up, Cheese Squad? This is Cheesehead number 2, and I'm back on my Call of War series. This one is Game 3 2.0, Day 4, Episode 2. So yeah, let's get into this. Pretty much what happened was me and Mauritania decided to invade Algeria, because he was pretty much done invading everything around him that wasn't his allies. So we thought that he was probably going to attack us next, so we attacked him. That didn't go so well for Mauritania, but I'm doing pretty good, and I've killed quite a bit of his troops. Egypt also joined this war, and as you can see, I killed 7,000 of his troops, and he only killed 1,000 of mine. But against Algeria, I'm not doing so good, as you can see. 8,000 to his 1,000. And that would be because some artillery accidentally ran into this. And this is 5 motorized infantry. So I lost a bunch of troops from that. But other than that, it's going pretty good. I'm building some armored cars in each of my core cities. In all of my non-core cities, I haven't built anything. With the lower morale, it takes too long. I'm not sure what happened here. It looks like Algeria did like a naval invasion. Actually, from the morale map here, I think I can see what happened. You can see the areas with low morale. Algeria probably got some troops through this area. And then Mauritania just conquered the land back. I'm gonna see if I can build some level 2 ordnance foundries in my cities. Construction. Goods is always a problem. Over here, pretty much, you can see I have quite a few troops over here. I'm trying to take his resource provinces that are in the southern area. I'm gonna try and go to, like, up here. Hopefully I can do that before more units get built, because I saw what he was building, and he's building medium tanks and motorized infantry, and I do not want to fight those. I'm gonna try and take this province, and this province, at least, to try and give him less resources to work with. It should also help that Algeria's ally, North Sudan, might be about to get attacked by Ethiopia. But from the scouting that Ethiopia is doing, it's not looking like Ethiopia is going to win. As you can see here, there are like 10 armored cars, a bunch of airplanes. I don't know. Ethiopia does have a lot of tanks, though, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. Also looks like Ethiopia is going to do a naval invasion of Port Sudan there. So yeah, we'll have to see how that one plays out. Belgian Congo is now AI. He just didn't check Call of War in 4 days, so that kind of sucks. Oh yeah, and that country, they're doing very well at invading South Africa. I honestly thought they were going to get pushed back quite far, but his bombers really helped turn the tide, and he is definitely going to win this one, so that's nice. And if I start losing the war with Algeria, I'm going to try and get Spain to join. Spain was Mauritania's ally. So if anything goes wrong, I'll just try and get him to join. Yeah, it's pretty interesting so far, so we'll see what happens on day 5. Okay, now I'm back on day 5. As you can see, the war could really go either way right now. Over here, my armored cars barely escaped these medium tanks, because one of these got to my armored cars, and they just held my armored cars down for a very long time, like at least like 2 hours. So these medium tanks got so close to killing my 5 armored cars, but they got away. Over here, Egypt has some more medium tanks. I just finished scouting them. So I'm trying to go around them so that they don't go over to my cities here. And over here, Egypt had a small breakthrough, but my armored cars got there first, and they will win the fight. So far, it's been pretty much going in the cycle of one side attempts a breakthrough, and then they fail, and then that gives the other person enough troops to attempt a breakthrough, which fails, giving the other person enough troops to do a breakthrough. And it's pretty much been going on that cycle for pretty much all of day 5. Up here, which is easier to see with morale map, I got pretty close to Algiers, but so I think probably medium tanks, I'm not sure. Something stopped me right at this city. It would have been nice to take, but I got stopped right outside of it. Although I'd still say this was a success because I took this goods province, this city, this metal province, and this food province. So as you can see, I pretty much just stopped Egypt's breakthrough attempt. These medium tanks luckily aren't moving, so hopefully I can get around them. And then these ones, which I talked about earlier, my armored cars are getting away. I'm hoping that he will follow them off to this province, where my artillery can hopefully get there in time and destroy the medium tanks. As you can see, the casualties aren't too much in my favor anymore. The reason for this with Egypt is I gotta be careful with my artilleries. He destroyed another artillery group. As you can see over here, it's not too good against Algeria either. And that was because of, on day 4, I think it was, Algeria also destroyed some artillery. Over here, Ethiopia and North Sudan are now at war. And similarly to over here, I'm not sure how this one is going to play out. To me, it looks like Ethiopia has a better army, but North Sudan has a really large air force, so I don't know how this is going to play out. Ethiopia said that Syria would join our coalition soon, but I'm not sure if that's true, because he said that on, like, day 4 or 3. But hopefully it is, and he'll be able to attack Egypt and North Sudan. Once I defeat these 4 medium tanks and these 4 medium tanks, I'm going to try and do an offensive, but I'm not sure if it should be towards Mauritania or towards the Algerian core provinces. If I do it towards Mauritania, then it'll make it a little bit easier to fight Algeria, because it would make the front lines shorter. But if I would attack at Algeria's core provinces, then I would be able to attack at his resource areas, like his rare materials and metal, and hopefully take some of his cities, and that could take Algeria out of the war. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We'll have to see on day 6. I might want to keep going back to here, because this is a hill terrain, this is a flat terrain, and medium tanks do really well on flat terrain. Yeah, they get a 50% bonus to flat terrain. So I might want to retreat back to here. That might be a little bit better. Yeah, I might do that. So we'll grab these guys. Go here. Then I'll get my artillery, and they will instead go right here. That. So yeah, right now it's very hard to tell who's going to win this one. We'll have to see what happens on day 6. Alright, now I'm back on day 6. So as you can see, it's going pretty well. I decided to take back Mauritania's land, just because it's really hard for them to get troops there. It's really hard for them to bring troops from here all the way over to here. So I decided to attack that, and I was met with pretty much no resistance. This medium tank just got built as I attacked the city. They didn't send troops over there. So right now I'm just using my artillery to destroy these medium tanks, and then behind those are probably even more medium tanks. But I'm just trying to kill off these units, and then hopefully I will be able to take land up to here. And that'll just make a shorter front line. So right now, what I'm going to try and do in order to win the war, I'm going to try and kill as many of their troops as possible without getting into combat. So just using the artillery so that I don't lose any troops. And I'm just going to try and cause as many casualties as possible to them, because they use the Axis Doctrine, which means that their troops have higher health and higher damage, but they cost more, and they're quite expensive. I've played as the Axis before, they're quite expensive. So I'm just trying to ruin their economies by making them spend their resources on troops that just keep dying, and I'm just trying to make them not be able to afford troops anymore. It worked pretty well with Algeria. Since I attacked his resource provinces down here, the city, he hasn't built very many troops, and I can tell because for pretty much all of day 5, I've only been fighting Egypt's troops. So yeah, I'm just going to try and cause as many casualties as possible. For the casualties right now, I caused about 2,000 more casualties to Egypt than I have. And Algeria caused about 3,000 casualties compared to him. So yeah, the casualties are pretty even right now, so I'm hoping to make that more in my favor. I'm going to try and take this metal province, and the reason for that is because Algeria and Egypt are pretty much building medium tanks. That's just what they're building right now, and that's all that they're building that can actually challenge my armored cars. And you can't build medium tanks without lots and lots of metal. I already attacked this one last time. So now I'm going to attack this metal province. And then Algeria won't be building any more medium tanks. From there, I'm going to attack Morocco. And that's just because if Algeria sends like one motorized infantry in there, and I don't attack it, and I just go for his cities, he could take Mauritania's land back. And I don't want that. So yeah, it's looking like I might be able to do this. The only thing that might be stopping me at this point is North Sudan and Syria. If you remember from day 5, Ethiopia and North Sudan were at war. And Ethiopia was doing really well. They almost took a bunch of land. But Syria, who was supposed to join our coalition and attack Egypt, attacked Ethiopia. All of Ethiopia's troops had to fight that now, and Syria sent like 25 troops over there. So that allowed North Sudan to take Ethiopia. So my allies aren't doing too well, so that kind of sucks. Since Algeria and Egypt are building a lot of medium tanks, I'm going to be building a lot of artillery. And the reason for that is because they're really good against medium tanks. And that did about like 35 damage, which is pretty much 1 bar. That's quite a bit, so I'm definitely going to want to build more artillery. Right now, I could be researching level 3 artillery and level 3 armored cars, but I'm not going to do that, and that's because of production time. I wanted to make troops as fast as possible, and right now it takes like 3 hours and 15 minutes for artillery, and 2 hours 45 for an armored car. If I upgrade them, it'll be like 6 hours for artillery, and 5 hours for an armored car. And I want to make troops as fast as possible, so that I can overwhelm Egypt's medium tanks. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and the question for the day is, do you like cheese?